Can you recall a time in your life that has left you with such a lasting impression that it impacts on the person that you are, even today? For me, that time was when a programming block called Toonami first aired in the UK. Toonami was a gateway to a world far removed from the rest of the content airing on TV at the time. I remember it for how it treated the shows that it aired, conveying a sense of passion and genuine interest for its content. This same passion was infectious, even to a 7-year-old me, who stuck around for the whole 2-hour block, despite only being invested in 2 of the 4 shows that were being aired. Toonami aired as a programming block on the channel Cartoon Network, which launched on the 15th of October 1999. At this time, Toonami didn't exist in the UK. By the early 2000s, Cartoon Network had successfully established itself as a children's entertainment channel. It aired shows like Dexter's Lab, Cow and Chicken, Ed, Edd and Eddy, Powerpuff Girls, and Johnny Bravo.
Stay warm on chilly winter nights with some beautiful entertainment from Cartoon Network. Stoke the fire with Johnny Bravo at 9:30, followed by a hearty helping of Ed, Edd and Eddy at 10. At 10:30, settle down with a nice warm cup of Dexter in Dexter's Laboratory. Then top off the evening with a nightcap of Cow and Chicken at 11. Be sure to have pleasant dreams by watching Cartoon Network, weeknights from 9:30.
In February 2000, advertisements began airing, promoting a brand new show which would start on March the 6th of that same year.
In 1984, I became the world karate champion for the first time, beating the American Joe Fisher in the final. Near the end of the fight, he tried to surprise me with a kick to my chest, but I anticipated and knocked him to the ground. Last week, I saw Dragon Ball Z. I never knew what hit me. Dragon Ball Z, the brand new show, starts March the 6th in 1-hour specials only on Cartoon Network. You'll never know what hit you.
Dragon Ball Z aired every weekday at 5 PM and weekends at 11 AM. Cartoon Network had acquired the rights to the first 2 sagas, the Saiyan and Namek saga. Canadian dubbing studio Ocean Group, located in Vancouver, Canada, dubbed episodes 1 to 53. The remainder of the Namek saga episodes were dubbed by Funimation, who completely recast the show and used their own in-house talent based in Texas. The initial batch of episodes being aired concluded just before the start of the Frieza saga. Once the material ran out, reruns began to air. Dragon Ball Z was incredibly popular, with each new episode pulling in high numbers of viewership. The Broadcasters Audience Research Board, or BARB, tracked the program audience ratings for television channels in the UK. The data that they gather represents the weekly top 10 airings, which had the highest viewership for that channel. For example, in this particular week on Cartoon Network in May 2001, you can see that each 5 PM airing of Dragon Ball Z made it to the top 10 airings for that week. Throughout 2001, Dragon Ball Z is consistently on the top 10 list each week, with the highest rated airing for any given week, gathering on average 170,000 viewers. To really understand how successful Dragon Ball Z was, I will draw a comparison between the first year of airing for Adventure Time, a popular show in 2011, and the first year of airing of Dragon Ball Z in 2000. The plotted audience data on this graph really does show just how much of a big deal Dragon Ball Z was at the time. There would be a drop in viewership due to reruns, but numbers would pick back up again during key moments in the series, like the premiere of the Frieza saga, which began in September. Even after its first year of airing, Dragon Ball Z continued to pull good numbers for the network. You can see just how well the second year of Dragon Ball Z performed, in comparison to the second year of Teen Titans Go in 2015. Just to reiterate, the ratings picked up speed with each new saga that was aired. Now that it is clear just how successful Dragon Ball Z was at the time and continued to be, we can see why Turner Broadcasting System Europe decided to launch a new programming block to move the show to.
The saga continues in new episodes of Dragon Ball Z. After 3,000 years, a Super Saiyan has arrived and is determined to put an end to Frieza's reign. Is he the savior?
The legend, my father, a Super Saiyan.
I am the hope of the universe. I am protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth.
All is revealed in brand new episodes of Dragon Ball Z next Monday, 5 p.m. on Cartoon Network.
This September on Cartoon Network, take a journey to a world where chaos reigns. The brand new saga of Dragon Ball Z. And the Bat is back. The brand new series, Batman of the Future. The next generation has arrived. Are you with us? All new episodes of Dragon Ball Z and Batman of the Future, only on Cartoon Network, the best place for toon action.
The show was set to continue with the Frieza, Garlic Jr. and Trunks sagas. They had acquired up to episode 107. These episodes also continued to be dubbed by Funimation. On Monday the 4th of September 2000, the UK was introduced to a new programming block, where the eagerly awaited new episodes of Dragon Ball Z would be aired. This new programming block was called
Toonami.
One more to go.
Toonami began as a programming block, airing on weekdays for 2 hours between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m, and would rerun at 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Toonami also aired on the weekends from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m, and reruns would air from 10 p.m. till midnight. Toonami aired the new episodes of Dragon Ball Z, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, and had acquired 2 new shows, Batman of the Future and the first 25 episodes of Gundam Wing.
Time enemy of Goku and who once discovered the unbelievable powers of Goku's son Gohan is now out for revenge. Now is the time for the ultimate battle for supremacy. Watch the beginning of a brand new Dragon Ball Z saga. The Garlic Jr. saga starts Monday at 5 p.m. only on the best place for awesome toon sagas, Cartoon Network.
Just when you thought the universe was safe, Earth is threatened by an unknown force. Gridden can feel it. Gohan can feel it. Even King Kai can sense it. And it's making our heroes' blood boil. Don't miss Frieza's counterattack. The first episode of the Trunks saga on Dragon Ball Z starts Monday at 5 p.m. on the best place for toon sagas, Cartoon Network.
By the end of 2000, Toonami had aired the new episodes of Dragon Ball Z, and reruns would continue to be aired into 2001.
Experience the power of 3 sagas.
Shall we begin?
3 villains.
How dare you meddle in my affairs?
Don't bother trying to escape.
First Frieza, now him.
Right, you dirty little fan. 3 heroes. In the ultimate hour-long, mind-blowing Dragon Ball Z encounter, weekdays at 5 p.m. on Cartoon Network.
We're talking serious power here.
Gundam Wing also finished its run of 25 episodes, and concluded with reruns airing in February 2001, and more episodes were set to air in May 2001. At this point, a new show called Tenchi Muyo was being advertised in January 2001, and was set to air on Monday the 4th of February 2001 at 4:30 p.m. on Toonami.
He was just a normal schoolboy until he broke the seal on an ancient prison. Now Tenchi is caught in the struggle between a beautiful princess from another world and a 700-year-old demon who plays dirty. Will Tenchi realize his true identity and save the Earth? Will he ever get any peace? Find out in Tenchi Muyo, brand new to Toonami, starts Monday at 4:30 p.m. only on Cartoon Network.
By March 2001, Tenchi Universe also begins airing, along with new episodes of Batman of the Future.
Tenchi Universe, weekdays at 5:30 on Toonami. Only on Cartoon Network.
Brand new episodes of Batman of the Future, weekends at 12:30 in the afternoon, only on Cartoon Network.
A new saga of Dragon Ball Z also began being advertised for what seemed like weeks.
And new.
The advert was brief, and it was difficult to make out what was going on.
Brand new Dragon Ball Z, coming soon, only on Cartoon Network's Toonami.
Eventually, the advert was updated with a new one, promoting the Android saga, which was set to air on April the 2nd, 2001.
Dragon Ball Z, a brand new saga, starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. only on Cartoon Network.
Dragon Ball Z had returned with familiar voices from the Ocean Group dub. The new saga of Dragon Ball Z started with episode 108. From this point onward, there were no more further changes to who was dubbing the episodes. All the remaining episodes of Dragon Ball Z were dubbed by the Canadian voice actors at the Ocean Group. Among fans, this dub will be known as the Westwood dub, which covered episodes 108 to 276. Once the Android saga had finished, the Imperfect Cell saga began in quick succession. By June 2001, Toonami had finished airing the new episodes and began airing reruns. And it was the 3rd of September 2001 that marked the return of Dragon Ball Z with the Cell Game saga.
Time to play the game! PM on Cartoon Network.
It's all new on Cartoon Network this September with the brand new series, X-Men Evolution. And a brand new saga kicks off in Dragon Ball Z.
They had continued to air new episodes all the way up until the World Tournament saga. The final 24 episodes of Gundam Wing had already begun airing from May 2001, and adverts also began airing for the feature film Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, which was aired later in the same year.
It's here. Endless Waltz. The Gundam Wing movie premiere. The Gundam Wing movie, Endless Waltz, this Saturday at 10:30 in the morning for the first time ever on Cartoon Network. For those who hope for peace.
Early 2002 saw Cartoon Network airing a computer animated show called Cubics. For its brief run, the show had taken most of the viewership ratings and was considerably popular. And during the spring of 2002, Dragon Ball Z was well into its reruns of the World Tournament saga. And on April 8, 2002, the Majin Buu saga of Dragon Ball Z began airing. The new episodes of the Majin Buu saga aired up to episode 239, Evil of Man. After that, reruns would occur. Reruns would continue to be aired until September 2002, when Cartoon Network began airing promos for brand new episodes of Dragon Ball Z on a brand new channel called CNX.
Catch all new Dragon Ball Z, being shown for time ever.
you enjoy it!
On the brand new channel, CNX.
CNX launched on the 14th of October 2002. The vice president of Turner Broadcasting at the time believed that CNX would be a unique and exciting proposition designed to fill a gap in the market, targeting itself towards action, adventure, and anime. The target demographic also was 16 to 34-year-old males. CNX had daytime and evening programming. Daytime programming was aimed at older children and teenagers, while evening programming was aimed towards older teenagers and young adults. Daytime programming consisted of shows like Justice League, Samurai Jack, X-Men Evolution, Batman of the Future, Tenchi Muyo, Dragon Ball Z, and Gundam Wing, to name a few. The evening schedule was made up of martial arts, thriller, horror films, and ongoing series such as Spawn, Outlaw Star, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, and Cowboy Bebop. At 10 PM, CNX had a primetime block, which would air foreign martial arts movies. They were not just limited to Asian films, they also did air Hollywood films. This primetime block was called AAA Movies, standing for Action, Adventure, and Anime.
AAA Movies. Action. Adventure. Anime. AAA Movies, hitting your screens every night at 10, only on CNX.
Some notable movies that they aired were Blue Submarine No. 6, Friday the 13th, The Shining, Gundam Wing Endless Waltz, Jungle Juice, Tokyo Raiders, and Demolition Man. CNX also had an original 60-minute magazine show, which covered the latest news from gaming, movies, music, DVDs, and extreme sports. The program was hosted by Christine Stevenson and Ed Lee. The show was called Trailer Park.
We're at the Jackass premiere here, Leicester Square, London.
Who would have thought idiots could make millions right here?
You're here for Jackass, you're here for CNX. Do it for Trailer Park, dude.
Hey, this thing's named after you. You can do it, though. Don't worry about it.
Game of chicken right here.
Right.
Or game of bear, I don't know what you want to call it.
Are you ready?
You ready?
On your marks. Get set. Go! Chicken!
I love Trailer Park. I grew up in a trailer park.
I love the trailer park.
I love Trailer Park. If you could be any animal, what would it be? What's the square root of 4? 2.
Hello, I'm Johnny Knoxville. You're watching Trailer Park.
With the launch of CNX came new episodes of Dragon Ball Z. The Fusion Saga promptly began. The show aired new episodes up until episode 260, Deadly Vision.
While on CNX, the brand new channel, it's all new Dragon Ball Z. 3 great shows, 3 great channels. All from 5:30 PM. The choice is yours.
By mid-January 2003, CNX began airing a promo for the final saga of Dragon Ball Z, the Kid Buu Saga, which was set to air on February 7th, 2003.
Super Buu's body is mutating once again. And he'll stop at nothing in his search for Goku, Vegeta, and his crusade for the total destruction of Earth. It's the final showdown, the final saga, the battle to end all battles is set to begin. The miraculous powers of the Dragon Balls are the only hope to stop this mass annihilation. A whole hour of brand new Dragon Ball Z, the Kid Buu Saga, starts Friday at 5 PM on CNX.
The final episode of Dragon Ball Z, episode 276, aired on March 1st, 2003 in the UK.
And this is to go even further beyond... This is what I call a Super Saiyan 3.
Look, we don't have time for idle talk, you two. We've got a mission to accomplish.
Oh, good. He's close.
If we don't do something soon, we'll be history, along with this whole planet. Everyone we know is gone.
To the end of Earth! What are you waiting for? Hand it over!
All right! You were a living nightmare, and you enjoyed every second of it. You didn't even show a shred of mercy. That's why it has to end like this. You'll have to learn the hard way. And know what it feels like to have your life taken away against your will. Adios!
Adventure ends. Another named Dragon Ball GT is just beginning. But as long as Goku lives, peace and prosperity shall reign.
On March the 3rd, 2003, CNX began airing Dragon Ball GT. The series was also dubbed in Canada by Blue Water Studios, who were a budget sister studio to Ocean Group. Dragon Ball GT aired from 5 PM to 6 PM.
More power. More action. Balls. The grand tour of the universe and the race to save the Earth is on. 10 years after Z, it's time for the GT. Dragon Ball GT, a brand new show. Every day at 5 PM, only on CNX.
Eventually, during CNX's run, the daytime programming would be rebranded to Toonami, and the evening content would be branded back to CNX. This was a sign of things to come. In July 2003, CNX was abruptly announced to be rebranded to Toonami on Monday the 8th of September 2003. The general manager of Turner Broadcasting Europe at the time stated that as a daytime block, Toonami had been so successful, in order to maximize its potential, we have decided to rebrand the CNX channel and move it to the kids section, along with Cartoon Network and Boomerang. CNX was initially in the entertainment section of the TV guide, which allowed it to air more mature and adult content. With the decision to rebrand and move the channel to the kids section meant that you'd lose shows like Outlaw Star, Cowboy Bebop, Spawn, and also losing the primetime block AAA movies. So on Monday 8th of September 2003, Toonami began airing as a standalone 24-hour channel, and the host of the channel, Tom, standing for Toonami Operations Module, was voiced for the very first time in the UK. He hosted the channel and also appeared in the Censor Room segments. However, he was not voiced by Steve Bloom, who voiced Tom in America. Instead, he was voiced by Christian Stevenson, who previously hosted the magazine, news, and review show, Trailer Park.
Wow! Ultimate muscle! That's gonna be so sick! Listen, in the meantime, I'm gonna get on with my martial arts moves. See ya, Sarah.
See you later, Tom.
On September 2003, Ultimate Muscle begins airing on Toonami, and by October 2003, Dragon Ball GT concludes with its final episode airing. The original Dragon Ball series premiered on Toonami on the 6th of October 2003. Unlike Dragon Ball GT, it was dubbed by Blue Water Studios in Canada.
Then on Toonami at 5:30 PM, it's our new show, the original Dragon Ball. So put them in your planner and...
In 2004, Toonami rebranded again, having a black rectangle filling up with white, turning into the Toonami logo. Tom no longer was the host of the channel. During this time in 2004, Toonami began airing a lot more child-friendly content, like Duel Masters, Pokemon Seasons 1 through 5, Megas XLR, Star Wars Clone Wars, Static Shock, and Beyblade. The Dragon Ball Demon King Piccolo saga began airing on the 4th of October 2004.
The brand new Dragon Ball Piccolo saga, every day at 5:30 PM, only on Toonami.
The Toonami website at the time was very transparent with its viewers and requested feedback and suggestions. As a result, marathons of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z began airing due to popular demand. The website would also update viewers on the airings of new episodes or new shows, and any general news relating to the channel. The final saga of Dragon Ball began airing on November 1st, 2004 on Toonami.
Their journey has been an epic one.
Goku? Is that you?
Their adventures are the stuff of legend, but every story has an ending.
Let the match get started!
One final tournament. Let the final saga be told. Dragon Ball, the new series, starts tomorrow at 5:30, only on Toonami.
Wow, that's cool.
In 2005, Toonami acquired the rights to several new shows, the first of which was Beyblade G Revolution, which began on Monday the 3rd of January 2005, Rave Master, which began on Monday the 7th of February 2005, and the most notable premiere being One Piece, which aired in the UK on Monday the 11th of April 2005. The Toonami website on May 23rd, 2005 announced that the UK would be airing the first 5 Dragon Ball Z movies for the first time ever, with the first Dragon Ball Z movie airing on the 30th of May 2005 at 11 AM and repeated at 6 PM.
You can be the first to see the long-awaited Dragon Ball Z movies exclusive to Toonami.
AB Group, who owns the distribution rights for Dragon Ball in the European and Canadian markets, produced English dubs for most of the features and specials for UK distribution and broadcasting. These were the features and specials that were airing on Toonami at the time. The dubs for these movies were notorious for having poor voice acting and renaming characters completely. For example, Saiyans were called Space Warriors, Piccolo was called Big Green.
Gohan, are you alright?
It hurts pretty bad.
Goku, what? I would advise you to listen.
Silence!
Such strength? Who is he? Where is he from?
As a result, fans have referred to this dub as the Big Green dub.
Big Green!
On a side note, AB Group was responsible for the Westwood dub and the Blue Water dubs, which were broadcasted in international English-speaking countries. The Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT films and specials that aired in the UK were titled differently. The names were based on Toei Animation's original English titles for each film and special. For example, Dragon Ball Z Movie 4 was titled Super Saiya Son Goku, whereas in America and the English fandom, Movie 4 is referred to as Lord Slug. The first 5 Dragon Ball Z movies aired daily from Monday the 30th of May to Friday the 3rd of June, airing as a marathon. Each movie first aired in the morning at 11 AM and would have been repeated in the evening at 6 PM.
It's the Dragon Ball Z half-term, featuring all the greatest Dragon Ball Z episodes ever. Also, for the first time on UK TV, an all-new Dragon Ball Z movie twice a day, every day. The biggest battles, the fiercest fights, the hardest hits. We've got to destroy that thing or else it'll destroy us. The Dragon Ball Z half-term, all next week from 11 AM on Toonami.
Bringing you a selection of the greatest Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT movies.
On Friday the 29th of July 2005 at 5:30 PM, Dragon Ball Movie 1 The Legend of Shenron aired. This movie and all subsequent movies aired on the Destination Friday block from 4 PM. Sleeping Beauty in Devil's Castle aired on the 5th of August. Mystical Adventure aired on the 12th of August. The Dragon Ball GT special, 4-Star Dragon Ball is the Proof of Courage, also known as A Hero's Legacy, aired on the 19th of August. Then returning back to the Dragon Ball Z movies, Movie 6 airs on the 26th of August. The remaining Dragon Ball Z movies and specials aired in October 2005. Movie 7 airs on October 7th, Movie 8 airing on October 14th, and the final Dragon Ball Z movie to air in the UK, Movie 9, airing on October 21st. The following Friday, Dragon Ball Z TV Special 1, The Father of Goku, airs on October 28th. And lastly, the final premiere of any new Dragon Ball content on Toonami in the UK was Dragon Ball Z TV Special 2, Gohan and Trunks, airing on November 4th, 2005. Toonami in 2005 and 2006 continued to premiere new shows like Battle Beat-em-on and new episodes of One Piece and Pokemon. In 2006, Toonami would see its final rebranding. From Monday the 6th of March, Toonami would begin airing live-action TV shows like Life with Derek, Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Alongside this change, a new series of The Batman, Pokemon, and Static Shock would also be airing. The focus was changed from action cartoons to just entertainment. The channel's graphics were also redesigned, from the black, white, and red logos being replaced by a blue background logo. The channel now had blob-like mascots. They appeared during the channel's breaks, promotional adverts, and idents. During this time, the UK version of Toonami received the most criticism, especially from viewers who wanted more action animation aimed towards older audiences. The criticism had existed from day one, ever since the rebranding from CNX to Toonami, and now that Toonami UK had relaunched itself into a channel that airs more general entertainment content like teen soaps and live-action sitcoms, it was criticised even further. The foundations of the channel were built on content that was geared towards all ages. Older fans felt like it was moving away from this premise and was focusing towards younger audiences. This criticism that was made towards the channel and its changes was reflected in the viewership of the channel. There was a drop in ratings and the live-action shows were eventually phased out. On the 3rd of May 2007, Turner Broadcasting announced that Toonami would become Cartoon Network 2 from May the 24th, 2007.
What do you get when you take all the best stuff from Toonami and mix it in with the best stuff from Cartoon Network? You get the all-new, bigger and better Cartoon Network 2. All your Toonami favorites in the same place, but with some cool new neighbors and a shiny new name.
Hey now, don't look at this. This isn't for children to see.
Remember, my mom's watching.
You don't even need to change the channel. Toonami is now the bigger, better Cartoon Network 2.
Toonami has been off air now for over 11 years in the UK, with no signs of returning. The generation of adults and children that grew up with Toonami will always remember the first time that they were introduced to anime and action entertainment. Toonami in the UK began as a repackaged version of its American counterpart, reusing assets from the Tom 1 era and Tom 2 era. The promise of what Toonami was, and what it could have been, lay in its early years as a block on Cartoon Network and the remnants of CNX. The true vision of Toonami is based off of the love and respect that Sean Atkins and Jason DeMarco helped to bring to air with the original Toonami run in America. In the UK, we did miss out on Tom being properly voiced, as well as missing out on the inspirational monologues.
Cry a little if you need to, but get back on your feet, because it's the getting back up that counts.
Despite all of this, the UK version of Toonami did leave us with a lasting impression. I would not be making this video if I were not a Toonami faithful myself, a term dubbed by Tom for the American fans. Despite what Toonami became in the end, we too in the UK were witnesses to a time when we could come back from school in excitement and escape into a gateway, leading us to content that would influence us and impact us even to this day.
Yeah, Toonami's back, bitches, to celebrate times return to television.
I'd like to thank you for making it to the end of this video. This video is a culmination of over 8 years worth of collecting adverts and promos. And I'd like to thank the following people, some of which who continue to upload adverts and promos even to this day. If you do have fond memories of growing up with Toonami or CNX, or if you want to share the impact that it's left on you, then please do leave a comment on this video. And lastly, I run a Twitter page dedicated to the UK version of Dragon Ball, and regularly tweet all the latest news relating to Dragon Ball in the UK. Please do check it out.